kid, do a smartphone otoge. Hey kid, do a smartphone otoge.
I have to do this, don't I? Alright, I admit, we've done 13 episodes and I haven't mentioned a single smartphone otoge yet. They're a huge part of the current otome market, but, well... Okay, first off, where do I even start? Games about vampires, games about bestiality, games about doing sit-ups. There are billions of these things, and no matter what you're into, there's a mobile game that caters to it. So, why haven't I touched on mobile otoge yet? Maybe because they all look like the same game? But I do want to be even-handed, so since mobile games are so big right now, it's time for me to bite the bullet and review one. And if I'm gonna do a mobile game, naturally I'm gonna pick the one where all the dudes are older than 40, because this is my show, goddammit! Let's get drunk and ogle some osans! In Pub Encounter, you're a young, airheaded office worker who is completely fucking terrible at your job, to the point where your boss tears into you on a near-daily basis. But one fateful evening, after a particularly depressing day of work, you stumble across a bar you've never seen before. Audire. Stepping inside, you discover a fancy, low-lit cocktail bar where you are immediately hit on by 5 middle-aged men. No, seriously, these dudes go from 0 to holy shit, a mildly attractive 20-year-old. Let me grease up the old love stick real quick, in the course of maybe 10 seconds. Strangely flattered by these desperately horny osans, you decide to make Audire your new bar of choice, and as you spend more time amongst the haze of soft lights and smooth jazz, you may just find some non-existent character development, along with the old man penis of your dreams. Yup, this is an otome game where every single guy is an osan. Pub Encounter, known in Japan as Dande Shotto, was made to capitalize on the growing oyaji fad, and to that I say fucking finally! Seriously, this otome game was made for me! But anyway, let's stop with the mindless gushing and actually review this thing, shall we?
Characters Romance.
I'll start with Ryunosuke Yuze, since he's got kind of a main guy vibe going on. At merely 41 years old, he's the youngest of the Audire patrons, and he's the CEO of your favorite underwear company. He's also the one guy who doesn't immediately latch onto you, mainly because he's uncomfortable around women due to some nasty past trauma. Once you get past his initial nervousness, he's an absolute darling of a guy. He loves sweet foods, arcade games, and just general all-around silliness. He's downright likable, and definitely less pushy than most of the other guys. He's also the only character to have a second season available, so once you've completed his main story, you can dive into an entirely new plotline, which features a whole bunch of forced drama about some rival underwear company douche who wants to blackmail you and sleep with you. It's even stupider than it sounds. Next up, Mamoru Arashiro. Age 43, defense lawyer, amateur psychic, and raging man-slut. Mamoru's the bad boy of the group, a smoky, disheveled, silver-tongued drunken flirt who has a penchant for groping you for no reason at all. So danger-esque. Strong bad? Anyone? His route starts out with him getting you blackout drunk to teach you that you shouldn't get blackout drunk. Then more or less devolves into a heaving mass of pointless angst and sex. And despite the sheer amount of racy content in his route, it's just so cliche. He tries to be the dark and tortured past guy, but then it turns out that he really didn't do anything that bad. Yeah, although I'll be damned if he isn't pretty. Hideaki Kodama, age 46, and 100% pure distilled kid fetish bait. He's a police detective, with a cool-looking scar, and an unbearably lame sense of humor, He's the most casual and easygoing of the guys, a self-deprecating sweetheart who loves to cook and who has an immutable sense of justice and honesty. He's the goofy dad type down to a T. So sweet, he takes care of some teenage kid who's not even his. And even in the other guy's roots, he'll show up, be awkward, and the guys who are actually dating make a fair amount of jokes about just how socially inept he is. He's just so damn nice and so much fun to be around. Man, what is it about the comic relief guys that makes me want to peg him so bad? I just want a body pillow of him. Like, one side he'd be serious detective, and the other side he'd be seriously naked. Yorihisa Hodo, age 50-ish. Snarky novelist and all-around know-it-all. His route is centered around a massive and contrived game of dick chicken. The Emerald-Eyed author decides to set a bet between the two of you. Each of you will flirt, fondle, and even fuck each other in an attempt to charm the other into falling madly in love. The first person to develop genuine romantic feelings for their opponent loses, because visual novel. He's like some kind of sexual troll? Is that a thing? The way he uses words to entice you, the subtle little smirk on his face, that stupid little mole beneath his eye. And then you find out his pen name, and of course he's your favorite writer in the whole world! And you get to fuck your favorite writer in the whole world! Like some overly pseudo-mature internet fangirl's wettest dream! I really liked his route though. He's just so dripping with sarcasm and self-assurance, but at the same time he's compassionate and really into you. It's definitely the tsundere archetype, but done surprisingly well. Soichiro Toizumi, age 60. Yup, 60. Damn, this guy is old. Like, wow, 40-year age difference? That's some kinky shit. He's the owner and maitre d' of Adire, and looks kinda like Walter from Hellsing. So yeah, that's one obscure anime crush I can kinda knock off the list. Soichiro's route is different. Rather than brazenly throwing himself at you like all the other guys, Soichiro's a lot more subtle. Gentle touches, shared glances, PG-rated compliments that nevertheless make you hotter than Texas in July. You just go to the bar, flirt quietly while everyone around you is oblivious, and then take evening walks together. It's got this slow, almost lackadaisical pace, and it never really feels like an angsty soap opera like so many of the other routes. Soichiro himself is a classic gentleman who treats you with the utmost respect, and he's got a quiet kind of wit that I found oddly compelling. Not my favorite route by any stretch of the imagination, but it's pretty cool being able to date someone this old. Finally, we've got Domeki Haruomi, a stone-faced surgeon who's not in the game? What? Are you fucking kidding me? For Christ's sake, that's the whole reason I originally got this thing! What do you mean he's just in the fucking CDs? Come on! He's a tsundere doctor played by Fujiwara Keiji! The whole reason I bought this game is so that I could have sex with Maze Hughes! If I can't see Maze Hughes' penis, when what the fuck is even the point of
Gameplay.
This section's gonna be a little different, because as far as gameplay goes, there is none. This game is railroad level linear. The Steam version of the game costs $18 and consists of a prologue, 5 routes, each with bonus date and epilogue scenes, a shorter sequel route, and 3 random-ass mini-stories that have fuck all to do with anything. The original mobile version, by comparison, had you purchase each guy's route a la carte for $3.99 a pop, with the dates, epilogue, and sequel all sold separately. If you think you'll be interested in most of the game's content, or if you're recording a YouTube series and Android emulators make this game run like absolute shite, go with the Steam version. If you're singly devoted to just one or two of the guys, go mobile and save some cash. The routes are split into 8 chapters, and you're given choices maybe 2 or 3 times per chapter. Each choice consists of 2 possible options, which will either raise your affection stat and trigger 2 lines of dialogue, or not raise your stat and trigger 2 slightly different lines of dialogue. After those 2 lines, it's back on the railroad. Once you complete the 8th chapter, the game checks whether or not your affection is higher than 90%, and then plays out either the best ending or the good ending. No branching paths, no failure states, no nothing. Look, I know this is kind of a prevalent thing with mobile Otome games, but I just don't fucking like it. The whole idea of paying $4 to just pick the route I'm aiming for with no chance of bad endings just feels toothless to me. Even if I make every decision incorrectly, even if my affection is at 0%, I'm still gonna get told, "Kid, my love, please say you'll be mine forever." I'm pretty much paying for a kinetic novel that will automatically funnel me into a happy schmaltzy romance. There's no agonizing over decisions, no trying to infer what a guy's inner feelings might be, because even if I take a fat shit on his lawn, he's still gonna fall head over heels for me. I want to feel like my choices actually matter to the world of the game. I want to pretend that I'm not just paying for anime boys to say cute things to me. I'd at least like to maintain the illusion that I'm kind of sort of earning it, you know?
Presentation.
Man, these dudes are hot. The sprites aren't exactly expressive. Each dude only has about 5 or 6 different faces he'll make over and over, but damn if these aren't some attractively designed faces. All grizzled and distinguished, while still having that slight bishy edge. You could take any of these guys, extract them, put them in another otoge, and that would be the guy I go for. Every fucking time. So hot. The music consists of a handful of repeating tracks: theme of the bar, theme of downtown, theme of bad shit happening, theme of rocking the Casbah. They're good pieces, and they're timed well to fit the mood of the scene, but because each route is only about 2 or 3 hours long, you'll be hearing them a lot. By my last playthrough, the music was really starting to get on my nerves, so I just muted the whole thing and listened to the Undertale soundtrack instead. Something I don't tend to bring up in many of my reviews is the programming, usually because I don't really have to. But geez, this game. I don't know if it was just translated in a rush, or if there was some kind of problem porting it to PC, but wow. First off, there's a weird recurring tendency where a character will say a line twice, but slightly rephrase it, and it's just weird. Secondly, the character sprites always seem to pop up early, like a scene will end, the screen will start to go dark, and suddenly 2 dudes will apparate out of nowhere before the scene changes to the next area. It's weird. And then, there's an entire scene in Ryu's 2nd season where the programmers apparently forgot whether Ryu was supposed to be dressed in his business suit or wearing his casual stuff, so we get this lovely madness. There are also a number of typos, and even once where you get a character's name show up in kanji. It's not a huge deal, it just kills immersion and makes an otherwise appealing looking game just come off kinda sloppy.
Final thoughts.
So, would I recommend Pub Encounter? Let me put it this way. Looking at this review, at this character art, these descriptions, would you want any of these dudes to finger bang you? If the answer to that is no, you might as well skip this one. There's no real story beyond girl goes to bar, gets wet for man old enough to be her father, and then guy is like, I am so head over heels, can't keep my dick in my pants, passionately in love with this completely bland and spineless office girl. So the main plot of each route is always centered around some hackneyed drama about a dark and terrible secret, ranging from so edgy it hurts to, huh? That's what you're depressed about? Which means he cannot truly love you because his heart, oh his heart, is achy and sore from all of the angst which pierces his burly chest. And their souls are consumed by guilt and mistrust, and oh no, they're such bad, naughty men who are so dark and mysterious, oh noes. And the sex scenes are both hilariously overwrought and nowhere near as explicit as I'd hoped. Seriously, after the puckered bungholes of no thank you, and after this game advertised itself as adults only, I was hoping to see at least one throbbing thrill hammer of love. But no, You just get to the good part, where your heart is quivering with passionate feelings, and then the scene fades to black. And then, the next morning, and then you get to hear about all the hot, wall-banging sex you had the night before. Come on, guys, I paid you money for this! Christ, this game is garbage. So why do I like it? I don't know if it's just because it's pandering to all my weird little tastes, or if it's just that this whole soap opera / softcore porno aesthetic is kind of novel for me, but I had fun with this one. It reminds me of when I was 13 and watching shit like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and I knew it was a terrible movie, but I loved the goofy fight scenes, and I was also mad crushing on Alan Rickman and his gratuitous leather trousers. Pub Encounter is like a grilled cheese sandwich. It's unhealthy, it's insubstantial, it has no nutritional value whatsoever, and it is crammed to the gills with cheese. Delicious, artery-clogging cheese. So if you're a cheese-loving Oyaji-con, go for it. Put on a nightie, toss back a little Moscato, and just enjoy this silly, trashy, goofy piece of Oyaji heaven. Now if they just translate Seifuku no Oji-sama, then we'd be set. Well, that's the token smartphone game off the list. Now I never have to review another mobile otoge ever again. Wait, what's that sound? Oh no! Oh fuck! Thanks for watching the episode. If you want to see more Otome-Nia, just click above. On the left is our spooky Halloween episode. And on the right is the first episode ever.